All right. I have not streamed in a very long time. And the last one that I did, frankly, was kind of dog shit because I just was hungover and had no desire to even stream that day. I was just kind of worn out from everything going on with my test and just other shit. Um, but I'm back. So I don't actually have too much of a structure to follow today. There's been so much stuff that I've not, when you don't stream every week, obviously you end up falling way behind with how much stuff comes out. Oh shit, I'm already fucking this game up. Um, but it is what it is. So I'm just gonna kind of talk about whatever. I'll probably start with um saying that I'm working on a video for The Thing. I was actually editing that before I started the stream. I was hoping to have it up today, but the raw audio ended up being like an hour and 20 minutes. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Um, so obviously there's no guarantee that I can get through all of that today, but I really do want to have it done by tomorrow because I have one that I want to get done before Halloween so that I can release it on Halloween. And that one will be one, well, it's I'll leave it as a surprise, but it's a special movie to me for personal reasons. So maybe I'll even explain that in the video. Not that anyone gives a fuck. Why the movie that I'm going to cover is special to me personally. But, I do all kinds of shit that no one gives a fuck about in my channel. So, it's kind of what's going on. I've been trying to put more stuff out. Hopefully you guys have noticed. Um, you know, I um I'm trying to be more consistent now that my test is done. I did pass the FE, of course, because I'm an asshole. My degree is not actually in engineering, it's in geology. And then my master's was geophysics. So now I'm waiting on my application to see will they accept my degree, my credentials, to let me pursue a PE. And if that happens, I'll have to sign up for that probably about a year in advance so I can have time to study and that whole deal again, adult shit, right? In the meantime, after I get through these couple videos, I've just been so busy with having people visit and then me visiting, and it really is hard to get in any kind of rhythm when you have shit going on that's not normal. But whatever. My goal is to get back to my book also after this week. I really do want to get that done. I'm tired of fucking talking about it. I feel like a fucking douche every time. Just saying that I'm saying I'm writing a fucking book and it's not actually done, even though it should be. Just one of those things makes me feel like an asshole, along with many others. Um, so I'm not even sure if I should expect anybody to be here today because I haven't done it in so long. I don't know if people kind of checked out of the streams, but that's okay. I can't blame people for me not streaming for 6 weeks, it looks like. So, it is what it is. Hopefully everybody's having a decent Sunday. And yeah, I'll just be chilling, playing Mario, talking about, or I don't really know if I want to talk about The Thing because my video is gonna be. I mean, obviously, I'm doing an hour or almost an hour. It's gonna be like as detailed as I can be without being fully autistic. And even if I wanted to be more autistic, I'm not sure that I could. So, whatever. I'm not like fucking Mueller and those guys who are pick up on every single frame and that type of thing. But yeah, it's just one of the only horror movies that I actually like. And there's not many horror movies that I think have like a lot of rewatch value because I feel like, and I say this in the video, um, my general reaction to horror movies is to be stressed out and then to be like, well, that was fucking stupid when you get to the ending because they all just end up with kind of bullshit and like whenever you get the explanation, it makes no sense. So that's kind of how I feel about horror just as a genre. And then you have, I mean, I know there's like subcategories of horror. You have like the gore stuff, you know, like your slashery, whatever. Like all the jump scares are not my thing. So that's definitely not my genre. Um, it's just not my thing. I mean, my much to the chagrin of my wife, I guess, but it is what it is, you know? You can't make yourself like a different genre. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of men out there who would love to have their wives, you know, enjoy Star Wars with them or Lord of the Rings or, you know, whatever the case. My dad's wife has been trying to get his to watch Lord of the Rings for a fucking decade. And she's like, every time I look at the screen, it's just somebody fucking walking. And you just can't make people get into shit, you know? But I try every once in a while just because she asked me to and harasses the shit out of me. Um, like I've seen The Conjuring. I actually went back on my own and rewatched the original Halloween because I was debating if I wanted to make a video on that and just how well has it held up. But I just don't know if I care enough, you know? Where is this fucking key? Um, so beyond that, I'm hoping to uh do a couple long videos. I don't want to say anything about those because those take a lot of time. And I mean, between work and then if I actually do finish my stupid ass book and just everything in general, I don't know when those will get done. So I don't want to comment on what there will be, but that is something that I do want to do. I have a couple in mind. One's anime, and then one is actually a YouTube series. So I don't even know what people would think of that or if they give a shit, but it's okay. I mean, obviously, I talk about the stuff that I want to talk about. So it kind of is what it is. You have to accept that people aren't always going to appreciate when you talk about obscure stuff that, you know, that they don't care about. There we go. Beyond that, the Penguin has been great. I mean, if you follow my channel, which if you're here, I assume you do. God, fuck this game. Can't even beat a little kid's game. But you know, if you're here, you definitely are a subscriber already. The Penguin Show has been really good. I mean, it's essentially just a gangster show in Gotham, like with the Gotham aesthetic. Although I wonder if people actually think it feels like Gotham. That's something that I feel like is always really debated about, like how much personality does Gotham have, type thing. Because I know people really bitch about the Nolan movies not really feeling like Gotham, but people seem to love the Tim Burton feel, which, you know, it's just tough because things used to be willing to be kind of comic booky, even if it meant being goofy or whatever. But now they want everything to be grounded and realistic. So you end up with what kind of feels like sort of generic cities and shit, you know? Just not really distinct, I guess. I mean, like almost like if you took the powers out, you couldn't even tell it was supposed to be like a fake or fantasy world, you know? Oh, you slut. There we go. But yeah, the Penguin's been really good. I love all the character work. There's been a couple points that I could see. Someone actually commented to me. I wish I could remember who it was. It was one of the people who comments on a lot of my stuff. They were saying they thought it was kind of a girl boss moment, and I think there's definitely been a couple of those moments that have bordered on that. But and maybe I'd be less charitable if the show was bad. I mean, I think that's something people tend to do. But because the show's good and the explanation that we get is simply the mafia are not supposed to be good people. They do run like a sexist organization. I don't really care. Like, it's not nearly as bad, and this is the same, I believe, same writer also, as the white male privilege line in The Batman. And that one people freak the fuck out about. And I actually talked about it in my video. I think that was the second video I ever made on my channel, was The Batman. And I'm pretty sure I said it was middling overall. I think my opinion now would be that it's probably bad. Like, I think the people seem to really remember like the first 10, 15 minutes of that movie, like the kind of the opening montage, or then the narration. He's talking about how the villains fear him, and he's beating the shit out of those guys. Even that, like, I like it. I don't like that he just kind of tanks everything. I mean, he's almost like Iron Man or something in that movie. I don't know. It really kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I don't know what the typical Batman is. I'm not a fucking comic book guy. I'm not going to pretend like I am. So maybe people who like Batman like that he's, like a tanky, walking through assault rifle, whatever. Just not, I don't know. I didn't like that choice. But people overall seem to at least like the Batman aspect of that movie. I didn't really understand the choices for the Riddler either. Like him being like kind of screeching autist. And then I thought it was just so fucking lame that the villain terrorists were like the alt-right inspired by a YouTuber type thing. Like, give me a fucking break, Like, that's just so fucking lame. And I'm so tired of these movies doing that shit, where the villain is supposed to be like Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson. And it's like, get a fucking life, dildos. I mean, you can't just have the Riddler be a crazy guy who likes riddles. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. And I actually think Pattinson was an okay casting. I mean, he can act. If you've seen him in stuff outside of Twilight, I think he's a pretty solid actor. Even though he still gets made fun of for being the Twilight guy, But yeah, been really enjoying the Penguin. It's so weird to have something to look forward to each week. Like outside of anime, obviously, I watch about half a dozen anime each season if I can. And there's good ones. I don't just, watch shit to watch it. But as far as anime, there's this show right now that's apparently popular on fucking TikTok. I started it the other day because I was just kind of hanging out at the house and not really doing much. And it was called Yakuza Fiance. and it's like really fucking bizarre. And the fact that it's popular on TikTok makes me think that it's another one of those situations, kind of like the Acolyte or like Kylo Ren, where there's like a weird group of like fetishists who enjoy like the idea of these guys that are essentially just fucking abusive. I don't really know how else to say it. And like these really unhealthy relationships. So the show is this chick, um, her grandfather is a Yakuza, but they don't portray him as like a real like gangbanger Yakuza, just kind of like part of the organization or in charge of the organization. People respect him. Hey, Shamrock. I was a bit worried the stream wasn't fucking up because no one showed up. But I checked, and I guess people just kind of forgot that I do this. Can't really blame them. But yeah, it seems like this kind of fetishist thing where. So she's in her grandfather's Yakuza, and he wants to make peace with this other Yakuza group. So he's like, hey, I need you to at least date this guy for a year. You know, if you like him, you can marry him. If not, fine. And we're going to establish peace between the two gangs, or I guess that's what they call them, right? Yakuza gangs. And she's like, fine. So the dude's a total psychopath, like complete piece of shit. And he gets really dickish with her in the first episode. And he's like, the only thing you have going for you is your body. So why don't you go, like, use your body to go make me some fucking money? So she's like a kind of crazy also, and spiteful. So she's like, okay, motherfucker. And he had named the amount in yen. I think he wanted her to get him like 2 million. And she went and sold a kidney and got 4 million. And then he like fell in love with her. And now he's like kind of trying to kiss her ass, and but also being like super possessive, and she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like she just wants to get through her year. It's fucking weird. It's one of those that I'm like, I get the appeal just from a purely like storytelling, character, and dynamic type thing. But the fact that it's popular makes me think that there's that weird group of girls who like fetishize these abusive relationships. I just don't get it. So I'm 3 episodes into that, and I'm like not sure where it's going, because I'm hoping that the point of the show isn't that he's abusive so she falls in love with him, because it could easily be that. I don't know. Yeah, as far as other shit, I'm watching one called 365 Days Until the Wedding. That's more typical rom-com. You know, it's got the like the crazy premise of the company's going to send somebody in a year to the Alaska branch, and the two super introverts are like, no, I don't want to do that. So they say that they're engaged, and they're just trying to outlast the year, and then they'll just call it off. And that one is more typical. It's actually pretty wholesome, and because they're adults, it touches on some subjects that I think are actually really interesting way down the road. I read them like chapter 60 of the manga. It's only like 100 chapters and it's done too, which is nice. Yeah, Shamey agrees with me. See, now that a woman agrees with me, no one can disagree with me. That it's the I can change him mentality. And then once they're actually in one of these relationships, they get a reality check. I just don't get why it's like a fetish thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like weird. Or like, because there is like those women that like write to serial killers. I mean, people talked about like the fucking Boston Marathon bombing guys got like those kind of love letters and stuff. I mean, are these women who just like don't have dads, or is it like a kink? I don't fucking get it. I'm trying to think of like what the male equivalent of this would be. I mean, I guess the male equivalent would be I can take a stripper and turn her into a housewife. Because those guys definitely exist too. I guess we just call them simps. But those like but no one glorifies like simping. Well, I guess rom-coms kind of do. I mean, how many fucking rom-coms is some guy just pursuing some woman forever even though she has a boyfriend or husband or treats him like shit and it's supposed to be romantic, quote unquote. I don't know. I think I'm just kind of the weirdo in this one. Cuz like even when I was single and like, dating and trying to like find somebody, if a girl didn't express like very clear interest in me, I just kind of tuned out. Like I don't whatever that gene is that makes guys like very persistent for women, I fucking do not have. And I feel like I'm the minority on that one. So I guess I can't really be in the minority and then call everybody else a fucking weirdo. But I'm gonna. Because I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things that when you're in it, it's hard to see. Because like from the outside, it is just so obviously unhealthy. And I think that might be part of the problem for me too. Is I've always had a decent amount of self-respect. So, well, this is fucking bullshit. Well, that's great. Thanks, Mario, you little fuckface. So, I mean, even my wife, very early on in our dating, she yelled at me. And I was like, if you fucking yell at me again, you can leave. Like, I don't yell at you. If there's a problem, fucking talk to me. And we've very rarely since then ever really raised our voices with each other. I mean, it's just not how I operate. So a lot of this stuff is just really hard for me to relate to. The way it's portrayed in, movies and stuff. I mean, for me, even the harem stuff, like an anime, like I get the appeal, obviously, but I don't know. Thinking about dealing with like 10 fucking women at one time seems like a weird kind of hell. But, it's one of the most popular fucking tropes. So obviously, again, there's a reason it sells. But yeah, so beyond all that fucking toxic ass show, Venom 3 came out. I got a really funny comment on that video. And it's a comment that I've gotten on a lot of things, which is you're just too picky. Like you're too picky to enjoy a movie. And the idea that we should have to settle for dog shit because that's all we're being offered. Like, if the options are dog shit or starve, I'll fucking starve. I just can't believe there's people who are like such simps for these fucking corporations. That's another thing I don't understand. Like you realize that you're spending your money, right? Like they're not giving you your money. Oh, motherfucker. They're not giving you their time for free. They're not spending hundreds of millions of dollars and saying, "Hey, just come check it out. It's free." Like they expect you to pay. So as a person paying, you have the right to make demands. It's fucking weird. And there's also the notion that comes with that of like, oh, you're too picky. To me, of like, well, I'm just gonna like whatever they give me. And they don't seem to realize that, or they won't acknowledge at least, that if it was better, you would like it more. Like fucking crazy idea, right? Like if they just make better shit, first of all, they'll make more money also. And you'll enjoy it more. Like if you enjoy Venom 3, great. It was perfectly fine to sit through. I wasn't like offended by it or anything like that. It wasn't like a miserable theater experience. It just wasn't a good movie. I mean, it was bad in a more traditional 90s way, I would say. Where like they had some ideas, you could tell what they were going for. The execution just sucked balls. And that's it's a bummer. Cuz like when you see the good ideas, you're like, "Man, if they just tightened the movie up a little bit, this could have been like a great fucking experience." And for me, that's kind of where the disappointment is. Like, I spend $5 at my local theater to see Venom on a Thursday night. I don't have a super vested interest if it's good or bad. Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not too particular. I don't really care either way. Like, it would be nice if it was good. So when it's not, you're like, well, shit. 2 hours I can't get back. Not a huge deal. $10 I can't get back. Again, not a huge deal. But it's like, why can't they just make it fucking better? Like they're like the studio is spending $120 million to make to make this movie, on top of probably another 50 million in marketing or whatever for something low budget, like, well, quote unquote low budget, like Venom. So the studio spent a couple $100 million. You think they would also want a good product? Like literally every single person in the world wants the movie to be better. No one watches a fucking movie and goes, "Man, I wish that was worse. I would have enjoyed that more if it sucked more." I think that's what irritates me too, is like, why wouldn't, like, what reason could you ever fucking have for not wanting it to be better? It's just nonsense. And I actually responded to the guy in the comment. I wasn't a dick to him. I wasn't super nice either. But I explained all this to him in the comment, and I was like, you can just say that it's bad, but you like it, or acknowledge that it's a bad movie, but you don't care and you like it. I have a ton of those movies. There's movies like Ultraviolet that I like. A movie like Wanted I wouldn't call particularly good, but I have fun with it. Like, there's a shitload of movies. Like, the fucking EFAP guys were like dying laughing at Madam Web. And that was one of the biggest bombs of the year, right? Like, they love the Batman with Mr. Freeze where Arnold's making all the puns. Obviously a bad movie, but they have a lot of fun with it. I think that's pretty normal. I just can't stand the online coping of like, if I like it, it must be good. Like, I could not possibly like something that was bad. I mean, how many fucking trashy anime do you watch that, you're like, yeah, it's trash, but I fucking love it. Who cares? Let's see, what else has come out? The Joker 2 thing I find fascinating. I know I made a video on it. Oh, I made 2 videos on it because I was just so irritated by what they did with that movie. Like, I don't know why. When they do stuff to spite the audience, I actually do find it offensive. Like, not like I'm gonna go fucking cry and have a bitch fit. Just kind of gross, I guess, like, would be maybe the right way to say it. God, Goshi. But yeah, the Joker 2, I found it offensive, not because it was so bad, which it was, but because it looked to me like Todd Phillips was like, okay, the mainstream media narrative after the first one was that I created like an incel hero. And first of all, you created a good movie. I mean, it almost seems accidental at this point. But like, you didn't like that a certain group of people liked it or got a message from it that you think is bad. Therefore, you want to use a whole movie to undo it. The only other thing I've seen that spiteful was The Matrix Resurrections. And that was just... Actually, that was the very first video I did on my channel. I was so fucking angry at that movie. That's another one that's like, why? Like that one, I get at least that the studio was making them make the movie and they were gonna make it regardless, so they made it and just tanked it. But I don't know. I mean, how much would it take for you if you created something that was beloved? Oh, well, you son of a bitch. If you created something that was beloved by tens of millions of people, you know, known as a classic in the like sci-fi genre or whatever genre, right? And you know, you were told, okay, we want you to make another one. Would you not at least be like consider trying to make it good, or at least just not shit all over the previous ones? It's just weird to me to have some work that you do that you presumably put a lot of work into, right? And you know, and you were a wild success, which super rare, obviously. But I don't know, just to shit on your own work, like how much money would that take for you? Because for me, that's one of those things that I would like to think that if I was already rich and, you know, could make whatever I wanted, that I would have enough integrity to be like, fuck you. Like, even if I am going to make the movie, maybe I'm taking it a different direction, I still feel like I would try to make it good. And then I kind of wonder how much leverage they get in those contracts too. Like, could they leverage it to where they're like, this is absolutely the last one. You cannot force me to make another one. You will not let anyone else make another one. I don't know. It would be interesting though if they had that kind of power in the dealings to be like, look, I will make this one because, you know, you guys are being dicks. But then after that, get fucked. I don't know. I mean, Hollywood just seems like such a shitty place. I can't even fucking imagine what dealing with those people is like. What the fuck is going on here? Oh, I just die? That's fucking great. And I don't know. It's just frustrating to see because Joker 2, I still people see. Oh my god, I can't talk. I still people see. Oh my god, I still see people on the subreddit for Joker every day posting that they like the movie and blah blah blah. And you know, like you just don't get it if you don't like it. All the usual shit you hear from the copers, right? When a movie is an absolute pile of dog shit that they wanted to like. And it's impossible for me to look at that movie and think it was anything other than just malicious. Like everything that made Arthur Fleck interesting, that movie makes a point to say, no. You can only think he's interesting for this reason. It's super explicit. Now, the writing is fucking atrocious. I don't know. It's just a fucking bummer at the end of the day. Come here, you little folks. Let's see what else is coming out. I think Gladiator 2 is coming soon. That looks like an absolute fucking nightmare. We've got Arcane Season 2, which will hopefully be good. Squid Game Season 2 will hopefully be good. So there's definitely stuff coming out. but it's kind of a dry time right now. Like Alien Romulus came out during my little hiatus. That fucking sucked my sack. That franchise is just kind of like another, another one of these franchises that feels like it's just being defiled. Like, like they killed the franchise a long time ago. It's in general not making a lot of money or any money really, and they don't give a shit. Like they just keep going, and it's just kind of this zombie husk of what it once was. Um, what else is going on? I don't even know. I feel like I've talked about stuff with people too. I actually went on a stream with TCAP. I should put the link in the chat real quick in case anyone rewatches this live stream. That was a couple weeks ago or a week ago. A couple weeks ago, I think, at this point. And we talked about that fucking hit piece from the Birdman on Critical Drinker. What a pathetic pile of shit that was. Let me see if I can find that real quick after I beat this boss. And I can at least put it in the chat in case anyone rewatches this. Been dicking around with a little bit of Metal Gear Rising. That game's so fucking over the top and fun. And it's one of those games that's just nice to play because it's so mindless. Which is like a, I guess I'm just shitting all over. I was just shitting all over, let's see. I was just shitting all over fucking Venom for being mindless, but, what can you do? But sometimes it's nice just to have like a button masher type game. And that one actually is, you have to be pretty skilled. I'm not just saying that because I suck at it. It's actually a hard game. But like, the people who are good online that you watch, man, they make it look fucking easy. Like, when I'm trying to get through some of these boss fights and shit, man. Hey, what's up, Istad? You haven't seen the first two Venoms? It's funny, Shamrock hasn't either. She put that in one of the comments, and I got so many comments on my video. They were like, I still haven't seen the first two. And I'm like, how are these bitches making like $500 million at the box office on like an $80 million budget, and they just keep cranking them out? I mean, this one should be the last one, but you know how that goes, right? Like, oh, you saw Venom 1, but not 2. Okay. Oh, you meant 2 and 3. I got you. Yeah. I mean, 2 was... is cringe the right word? I can never remember how to save my game on this fucking thing. Yeah, let me look real quick for that link for TCAP for his channel. I can at least post a video that I showed up in at the 4-hour mark. Yeah, the second one with Woody Harrelson, I don't understand that fucking casting at all. Like, even when it happened, people were like, what are we doing? I think his channel name is TCAP. That's what his Discord name is. Oh, here it is. I found it. Oh, yeah, I'm subscribed to him. Okay. Let's see. What the fuck is this? Okay, maybe he hasn't posted it yet then. Huh. Or I'm just stupid and can't find it. Probably a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Or does he have a new channel? Maybe I'm just fucking retarded. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, ISTAD Venom 2 was like the same thing as 1. Like they do like the same plot line where he's fighting with Venom and they're bickering and blah blah blah. The humor is very middling. I will say I think Venom 2 did have the funniest line that I can remember from the series though, or from the trilogy. And you can find it on YouTube. It's when he, well, spoiler I guess if you care, but it's when he kills Carnage at the end, and it's doing like the slow music, and Woody Harrelson's like, he's on the whole "we're not so different, you and I," and blah blah blah. And this is after Carnage has wreaked havoc on the city. And during this big, like emotional speech that he's giving, Venom just goes, "Fuck this guy," and fucking bites his head off. I fucking lost it. Because the rest of the movie was so just generic and predictable, that actually caught me off guard. You can find the clip on YouTube. Honestly, that's probably worth watching more than the entire movie. It's just that clip. I think it's like a little 2-minute clip or something you can watch. And I just don't. Apparently, Tom Hardy loves the character. I just don't fucking get it. I mean, he's been in so many good movies. Okay, you already seen that clip? Yeah. I think I showed it to you back in Florida. But Tom Hardy's a fucking awesome actor. He can do like literally any job that he wants, he can get. And he keeps like fucking around with Venom. I don't know, I just don't get it. Like, it's not like he needs money. It seems like he spends his free time doing fucking like jiu-jitsu tournaments anyway. I don't know. The whole thing's just weird. And I feel bad for the Venom fans. Because everyone loves those fucking comics. Like, I remember when Venom got announced for Spider-Man 3 for the Tobey trilogy. The Tobey Maguire trilogy. Or Sam Raimi, whoever you want to call it. Anyway. The fucking Venom fans were jacked. And they did that weird shit to him with that 70s show kid. I'm blanking on his fucking name right now. But yeah, and then they just followed this fucking, they followed that act up with this trilogy that I seriously think might be the most forgettable trilogy just in every capacity. Which funny though, because I actually had a video for the new Rise of the Planet, the new Planet of the Apes movie. And I think the title of it was, I think the title of the video was something like another addition to the best but most, like the most forgettable best trilogy or something. Because I actually like all those movies, but they kind of come out, make their money, and then just vanish. It's so weird. They have like no cultural footprint. We're talking about Venom, the Venom trilogy right now. What's up, Water Enjoyer? Yeah, the Venom trilogy I was just saying is like just how forgettable it is. It's weird to me because they just keep making it and they keep making money, and I guess Tom Hardy likes doing it. I don't know. It's all very strange to me. And I was just saying I feel bad for the comic book people because I'm not one of them. Because I'm sure it's frustrating to watch a character that you love just get repeatedly butchered. And for the hardcore comic people, I'm sure that's been the case for like shit 30, 40 years. Depending on how particular you want to be about the suits and the costumes and all that sort of shit too. Because I've heard people say that there still hasn't been like a comic book accurate Batman costume in a long time. Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention. I was supposed to pair them. Whoops. I think that was the only pair that I saw. I was busy talking to you guys. Fucking me up. But Yeah, I've just kind of been talking about random shit. I was talking about Joker 2 and what a fucking travesty that was. The Adam West one, yeah, what was that, the 60s? And they do the fucking kapows and all that shit on the screen. Oh my god. How do I save this damn game? Because I'm pretty sure I've played this damn Third World like 4 different fucking times on stream. And I'm pretty sure if I just reset the console, it's gonna tell me to get fucked. I mean, the control only has like 8 damn buttons. Hey, what's up, Mr. Divine? I know I was saying it's been a while. I think everybody forgot that I actually did this. It looks like it's been about 6 weeks based on my upload dates or the dates that I did my last one. I was trying to talk about just random shit that I've missed in the meantime because 6 weeks is forever with this media stuff. I've seen some people talk about Agatha All Along. That looks like a fucking miserable thing to watch. I haven't watched a single Disney Plus MCU show. Batman movies will do anything but have a Robin or any of the supervillains on screen. I love Joker and all, but I'm so tired of realistic Batman. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier in the stream. Actually, is how they seem dead set on this sort of grounded thing. What's Space Marine 2? Is that a shooter? I'm assuming. There you go. If you're wondering how out of touch I am in the video game world, let's go ahead and confirm it for you. Let's see. Space Marine 2. Oh, Warhammer 40K. Is that a PC game only? No, it says PlayStation 5. Oh, and Xbox. Okay. I'm pretty sure I heard that Warhammer 40K has like some of the most in-depth and like really interesting lore. I've just never gotten into it. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's just one of those things I just never found the time. Thank Christopher Nolan for the realistic Batman copycats. Yeah, that's what I was just saying was after Christopher Nolan everything has to be grounded. And that because I was talking about Gotham and how in the Penguin show even Gotham just kind of feels like a city. It doesn't feel like the way that Gotham looks in like the Tim Burton movies. Odd question, but would you ever do a review on the Batman animated movies, like The Return of the Caped Crusaders or Under the Red Hood? Probably not, honestly. I mean, I guess if I got a member request for it, then sure. It's not that I don't really have an interest in them as much as, for me, the issue that I have with kind of comics in general, at least American-made comics, like, you know, MC, the Marvel Universe, DC Universe, is they have so many concurrent threads going with all the same characters, and it feels like they never really like they don't. I don't know. It makes them feel inconsequential to me, I guess, because I'm always left wondering, like, okay, like what is the canon timeline? And I feel like there should be a definitive answer for that question. And it seems like it's just kind of going to depend on who you ask. Like that's one thing that I like about manga is all the stories are the story. I know some of them do like those visual novels where you can pick your own path. There's been a couple I've seen a couple rom-coms where they'll do like the golden timeline or whatever, but then they'll do like an alternate version, you know, kind of like a what if. But even then it's still very clear which timeline is the canon one. So, you know, that I'm okay with. One of the most chicken shit series I ever saw I won't say what it is because it would spoil it for Istad. It was a rom-com, and when I got to the end of the manga, the chapters were labeled like point 1 and point 2. So all of the point 1 ones were one path, and all the point 2 ones were the other path for which girl he picked. And there was no canon ending. It was literally just the two options. Absolute dog shit. Like, if you're an author and you do that, go fuck yourself. Seriously. Mr. Divine says, what are your thoughts about the MCU's Blade movie? Should they move forward with Wesley Snipes' Blade or Herschel's? Oh, Mahershala Ali, right? I mean, at this point, do you trust them to do anything? Like, if they bring back Wesley Snipes and do a Blade movie, I think this will be a kind of thing where people like the nostalgia of it, and they'll suck it off for a couple weeks, and then 2 months later, you'll never hear from it again because it'll be a dog shit movie. The Mahershala Ali one, that one sounds like a fucking disaster. I mean, I'm just going based off of like what Nerdrotic and those guys talk about with the rumors. But they've done like 4 different rewrites. They've had directors leave. Mahershala Ali sounds like he's about done with it. They were originally going to make him like not the focal point of the Blade movie, and it was going to focus on chicks or something. I mean, I think the worst thing that you can do, and the MCU seems to do this a lot, is try to amalgamate like 20 different people's into one, like 20 different people's ideas into one movie. So when you just end up with this like chimera of shit, and there's no clear vision, there's no clear direction. At this point, their best bet, regardless of if they go Wesley Snipes or Mahershala Ali, is to give it to one person. Say, look, write the fucking Blade movie, and we're gonna shoot it, and that's it. And that way, you have, you're at least getting one person's vision. Now, whether or not it's good, who knows, right? And then even if they say that, maybe they interfere on the back end, make them do a million reshoots. You just don't know what's going on over there. It seems like a disaster. But that would be what I would say. I mean, it depends on what they want Blade to do also. Like, if they're okay with Blade being essentially a one-off, then bring Wesley Snipes back. Fuck it. But if they're willing to incorporate Blade into the broader MCU, then I think that would be a pretty big mistake. I mean, Wesley Snipes has to be in his 60s. White Man Can't Jump was a long fucking time ago. Get the director of John Wick to make Blade. I mean, the problem is, how many good directors have left the MCU in the middle of filming because they're like, they won't leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm trying to make the movie, fuck off. And they just won't do it. So that's another issue. Is like, I know people like to blame studio interference for everything, which people have been making fun of Todd Phillips. People have been making fun of Todd Phillips because essentially the WB just gave him all the money, said do whatever you want, and then Joker 2 was a fucking shit show. So people are like, studio interference and oversight is good sometimes. And I don't even have an issue with studios having an opinion. Like, you're spending a lot of fucking money. You want to make sure you try to get the best product you can out there. But the studios always get blamed when something's bad. So Water Enjoyer, this is about the Batman thing, right? There kind of is a canon timeline. Is that what you're saying? The Caped Crusaders is only 2 movies and that's it. Under the Red Hood is just 1 movie with the what if section. It doesn't do any of the multiverse shenanigans. No, I didn't mean in that specific story or arc or whatever. I meant for me overall. It's like, if I wanted to go read the Batman comics, I wouldn't even know like where to start. I mean, obviously issue 1, but you know what I mean? Like, at some point, they just start making them, like, they just start fucking cranking them out, and you end up with like all these different authors doing their own timelines and whatever. And to me, it just kind of undermines the whole thing, I guess, is maybe more what I meant than there is no canon. Although, I think both are kind of true. I mean, we're seeing it just in the movies, and my understanding is the comics have a lot more of there's like the DCU, there's the Matt Reeves Batman, there's the Snyder universe that fell apart. There was the Nolan Batman. I mean, that's all just in the last 15 years. So that's more my issue with kind of the American comics, just broadly speaking. God damn it. Fucking Mario. Get your little baby ass back here. And then, I guess the author didn't want people to fight over the best girl. Yeah, I mean, that's just tough titties to me. Like, you wrote there to be 2 love interests for drama. You gotta fucking pick one. I mean, I don't think that's right to write a story and then be like, oh yeah, the canon's, whatever the fuck you want. Because the people that care that much are gonna do it anyway. They'll go find a fanfic where the girl that they liked wins. They don't give a shit. I mean, they give a shit in the sense they'll be angry, but you know what I mean. Like, if they're disappointed with the ending, they'll just pretend it didn't happen. So, I just think that's so fucking lazy and cowardly. I mean, plus, like, you reap the benefits of drama for fucking hundreds of chapters. People have been waiting for the answer. Like, oh, how's it going to work out? And you just don't give them one? Fuck that. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Divine says, what's going on with my book? So I actually mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. I did pass my FE, so I'm waiting to hear back from the stupid board of South Carolina. I'll go ahead and dox myself. To see if they will accept that my degrees were geology and geophysics and not engineering. So as soon as they accept that, then I can start moving forward toward the PE to hopefully become a professional engineer in the long run. But I've been trying to put out more content for the channel right now. I'm working on a video for The Thing, and the raw audio that I finally finished last night was 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I'm hoping to I was hoping to get it out today, but I didn't think my audio was going to be that long. But I really need to have my Thing video done by tomorrow, because I have one that I want to do for Halloween. Obviously, Halloween's Thursday. And it's going to be my favorite Halloween movie. And it's also special to me personally, which maybe I'll talk about in the video. I don't know yet. So after that, I should be free, or at least, not trying to get stuff out. Because I wanted to do Jay, the Jay and the member guy who always requests stuff for me. He was the one who requested that Reanimators, which was a horror, and then I wanted to do The Thing since we're in October, and then I'm going to do my favorite Halloween related movie for Halloween, and then after that, I don't think I have anything really pressing, and then I'm going to try to use hopefully the next couple weeks to get it done. And then I don't know, as far as like once it's actually done, I might try one more time to get through, like a literary agent, just to see if I can get it traditionally published. But if I have to publish it myself, which is most likely going to be the case, obviously, then I don't know how long that process takes. I believe that you can do it, like once you have it formatted, I'm pretty sure you can get it through Kindle in a few weeks. I don't think it's like super long, but you just have to make sure the formatting is right. And I think there's a little, like you can format it in Word, is my understanding. Some people use formatters, but I don't really want to spend money on it because I don't anticipate selling anything. Obviously, it's the first thing I've ever written. The quality is who the fuck knows, right? I mean, I think it'd be pretty fucking arrogant to just assume it'll be good. Like, yeah, in Fantasyland that happens, but you know, realistically, I don't want to spend a ton of money on something that probably isn't gonna bring any money back. So once I get this last, I had like a couple more things that I was trying to finish right before my test. Well, before I had to start studying for my test. So once I get through those last couple things, oh shit, I thought I could jump on his ass. So once I get through those last couple, oh, you fucker, get your big ass out of my face. So once I get through these last couple of passes, I'm gonna do one out loud read through, and then that'll just be it. Because I don't know if you've ever, I can't remember. Are you actually a writer, Mr. Divine? I can't remember. I feel like someone in the chat is. I couldn't remember if it was you. You know how it is with editing. Like if you want to, you can literally just edit forever. So at some point, you just kind of have to call it, and just call it a day. And that's kind of the point where I'm getting to. I just need to stop because I actually do have like another book outlined already, and then obviously I'm trying to maintain getting videos up on the channel on top of my new job. And there's just not enough time. Essentially, at the end of the day, is kind of what it boils down to. Damn it. As a hobby. Oh, so you write as a hobby. Okay. So yeah, you understand how it is with editing. Like, it is like absolutely diminishing returns, and there also is just a point where you're just kind of wasting your time, honestly, because it's just simply not going to get drastically better than whatever you're already doing, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. But there was a couple quirks in my writing that I noticed that I didn't like, so now I'm trying to go back and get rid of those. I guess I can talk about them. It's not like a big deal. One of them is that I say because I was writing in third person. I wrote like what is it, like he could see that blah 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 instead of just saying he saw, like that type of shit. I'm just trying to get cleaned up because it's not going to make or break the story, but as far as how engaging the writing itself is, it makes it a lot more passive when you throw those extra words in there unnecessarily, and it kind of takes you away from his perspective as the main character. Tyler writes also. I know he sings. I don't know if he writes. I can't remember. There was one more person in here. Maybe I don't know if it was Flag Factory, maybe. But yeah, so you know how to, that was what I was getting at. Was how it is with editing. It's fucking painful, and there is just a point where you just have to stop. And I'm at that point. I essentially want to do one out loud read through after I get rid of these quirks in my writing, and then I'm just gonna have to stop because my own opinion of my writing would be that this story in particular, the writing style is very dry because it's a dystopian world that's super fucking oppressive to the point where there's not really even culture, and so I didn't feel like it would be appropriate to try to have very colorful language. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want it to be like boring to read. So I've been trying to balance that out with my last couple edits and see just kind of what I can do with it. But yeah. So a short answer would be I'm hoping to be done in a couple weeks, And then as far as getting it out by the end of the year, I think would probably be realistic. I don't know how long Amazon's process takes. So that specific aspect, I can't give an answer to. As far as my end, I want to be done in a couple weeks. And if I can, better man than me. Oh shit, what the fuck am I going with this? So if I can get my part done in a couple weeks, then that's kind of what I'm shooting for right now. I mean, I do like writing, but it's definitely a pain in the ass. And then obviously there's always the element of spending a shitload of time on something, putting it out there, and people either not giving a fuck or just shitting all over it, Oh, I see. I was supposed to take the helicopter down here. But yeah, so it just kind of is what it is. I mean, my goal, even when I started, was just to have one person that doesn't know me buy it and like it. Because my family will read it and they'll like it just to be supportive. Everyone to do a comic or manga instead. I mean, I think manga would be fun to do. My drawing skills are absolute fucking zero. Like, it's not even like I would wager that if you picked a random child, we'd be about the same level. I just have never had a knack for art. I've always been much more of a science math guy. Damn. I'm getting fucked up as a submarine or a fish or whatever I am. Hire an artist, yeah. Well, that's kind of the problem with manga is I think, the problem, quote unquote, is that the artists are the ones who really dictate everything because I mean, how many you can write out a whole chapter of manga with no words depending on what's going on. So it's I like reading manga and I've actually never read American comics. I mean, I know obviously, it's been a fucking industry for 75 years or whatever, 100 years. But fuck you, fish. Damn. But no, I've never even considered it because I'm so just talentless in that area. And fuck, I might be a talentless writer too. I mean, criticizing things is deconstruction is always easier, right? Like Alan Moore. I've heard Alan Moore's name. Which ones did he do? And that's another thing. That's also something I would wonder about hiring somebody is like if you weren't already established as a successful writer or went through like a studio, how would you ever afford that? Because even just getting someone to make like a book cover for you, depending on how much you want to spend, I mean, you could be looking at shit, a couple grand. I can't imagine what a comic book artist would charge. Watchmen V for Vendetta. Oh, okay. Watchmen was where I'd heard his name. I didn't know he did V for Vendetta also, though. I kind of forgot that V for Vendetta was a comic, honestly. Because the movie just doesn't feel comic booky to me. Kind of like in the same way that Constantine doesn't. But that's what I mean. Like, say you want to put a comic book artist, and you're like, okay, I want you to draw 12 issues for me, and they charge you probably what, 60 grand, at least. I mean, that's a full time job for them for a year. So I can't imagine it would be anything that a normal person could afford without going through some type of studio or backer or whatever. And then I always wonder about the dynamics of that too. Like will a good artist give you writing input also? Or are they literally just drawing machines? Because then if you want an artist who's going to give feedback on the writing also, you're going to have to be like, first of all, you're going to be open to it. And second of all, you're going to have to be, someone that you can work with, right? You can't just take anyone. It has to be someone you have good chemistry with. So that seems like its whole own issue as well. But I've seen people like Eric July and it was his name Ethan Van Sciver and all those guys who are doing their GoFundMe's and doing their own thing, and that's really cool for them. But they can fucking draw, and they've already had success in that industry. That's a good question. I feel like you're paying for the art. Well, yeah, it's going to depend on the personality of the person you're dealing with. Because you might want them to be a drawing robot. They might be like, reading the story and being like, I don't want to spend my, health and time and whatever working on dog shit. And you can't blame them for that either, right? I mean, if they see something that they think is a gaping issue in your story, it would almost be neglectful not to speak up. But yeah, I mean, I do think comic books and manga and all that's like a really cool industry. But I mean, well, first of all, the manga industry seems hyper competitive. I mean, it seems like a lot of people either get started as interns or just doing it as a hobby until they get noticed, which is, I mean, I can't even imagine doing that kind of work just sort of for free and hoping that your stuff catches on. I mean, I know a book is similar. They're getting paid whether it's good or shit. I know, but there's still gonna be like their name is still gonna be on it, right? Like it's gonna be written by whoever, art by whoever. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe some people just don't give a fuck if they're working on something shitty. I would just think that people would be like, if I'm gonna work in this industry and spend my time on something, I would like for it to be good. And I mean, you kind of have to wonder about the burnout too, right? If you're like, God, I'm working on this pile of shit. Motherfucker can't write. Fucking wrist hurts, my back hurts from sitting over this desk all day. He's being a dick about deadlines. I just feel like it would create a really bad situation if the artist had either contempt or just didn't like it, But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe people just, a job's a job. They don't give a fuck. It's like being a cameraman for pornos. You're a cameraman. Doesn't matter what's on the other side. Learn to code if he's gonna bitch. Well, and hopefully, you wouldn't be their only opportunity. right? I mean, if you're the only opportunity, then you should start asking questions. What the fuck's up with this guy that no one wants him as an artist, you know? Get out of my way, you fucking fish. Bitch. I mean, I guess you could do the thing where you're like, fuck it, I'll hire a different like intern artist for each month. So none of the art style will ever match. But you're in control of the writing and then getting either super cheap or like free art. Maybe that's the business model to go with. I wonder if you could do that actually. Like ask college students like, "Hey, do you want to do 1 month of or like one issue of a comic book for me, you know, for free, but you can put it on your resume." And they don't know if it's going to be fucking successful or not. Who cares? There you go. I'm finding loopholes for you, Mr. Divine. You should get into comics for free. The only thing it'll cost you is time to find a intern. Or, you know, maybe even interns cost money now. I have no fucking idea. A couple $1,000 a month or something. Instead of like 10. But yeah, what I was saying about comics, I think it was Water Enjoyer mentioned earlier. Um I actually was gonna like read Guardians of the Galaxy after the movie came out. And I was so fucking lost trying to find like what people cared about, what was good, what was canon, that I ended up just not even starting because I was like, fuck it. These fucking crabs, man. The other way. Bastard. Coming here looking like a what's his name? Pincher in fucking Pokemon. Yeah, I could have used these eggs on the other side of the crab, you fucking game. Be like one, draw your manga, and if it's good enough, someone will give you an artist to redo it. Really? I didn't know that's how they did shit. That's interesting. Bitch. Yeah, I mean the manga industry seems fucking ruthless. Like so many of those artists work until they're sick, their fucking health deteriorates. Oh god damn it. I'm wasting my eggs. Oh you son of a bitch. Like it just seems brutal. I feel like almost every manga that I've read has had um the author at some point has had to take a break for health. Which, you know, I don't blame them for doing it. They should. But it's just crazy that they're working that kind of, you know, lifestyle that, you know, like every single one of them is getting sick. Yeah, look at One Punch Man. His drawings were bad. Not even on the level of an average manga. Yeah, I actually have seen those the originals. Yeah, they're like actually comically bad. But I mean that would be about the level of mine. Like he might even be better than me still. Like just stick figures and scribbles. But you know, I mean One Punch Man is also like if you have to be at that level because you're drawing such shit. I mean, can you really count your writing being that good? You know, like One Punch Man is a phenom. It's one of like for sure one of the most popular series. And the problem with manga too is I think the story kind of suffers if your art sucks, you know? Like say you wanted to do a rom-com and you had like you want these moments to be emotional. Well, if you can't draw fucking emotions, you're looking at stick figures, you know? With little stars around them that are all misshapen and not even the same size. I mean, not that I would do a rom-com, but you know what I mean. Oh, okay, I'm okay. So I need the Shy Guys, not the acids. I see. Damn it! It's a weird ass boss level. But I think I'm gonna start wrapping up here. I do want to get back to editing the thing video. I'm chopping up the audio now. It's already gone down from 1 hour and 20 minutes to 1:12. But I'm guessing the final is still gonna be between 45 minutes and an hour somewhere. So, you know, I don't want it to be shitty or anything, obviously. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for today. I'm glad to be back. Glad some people popped into chat. I was a little bit worried no one would show up, honestly, because I just haven't done it in so long. But you know, and I don't know if Water Enjoyer is still here. If you really want me to watch those animated Batman movies, you could always just become a member for $5 a month and use your request for that. Pretty much the way the requests work is I'll do it within the month and you get one a month. The limit I try to do is roughly one anime core length. So if you wanted me to watch a 13 episode season of anime or a movie, some people like Tyler and Bear the Dog have used 2 months to ask me to watch a show that's like 10 episodes of hour-long episodes. So I watched like Band of Brothers. He used 2 months for that. I watched Deadwood. Tyler used 2 months for that. He actually just used 2 more for season 2, which I need to get on the ball with that, Tyler. Tyler, if you watch this, I hope you can hear me. I believe you used October and November, so I'll have that one to you by Thanksgiving. I did watch the first couple episodes last weekend. I was laughing when I saw Skylar from Breaking Bad, but then I just got busy and, you know how it is with work and everything. Just trying to stay on top of everything. Had a fucking wedding to go to this weekend. That shit was a disaster. Bride cussed out the photographer. Good times. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of how the channel works. I'm gonna try to be more consistent with these now. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. There's a chance my thing video comes out tonight. I would say it's much more likely it comes out tomorrow at this point, just because I've still got so much of the audio to go through. I mean, the way that I do it is I go through and I chop up. I cut out all the gaps in my speaking, because you guys can hear me talking, right? Like I pause a little bit when I talk, like I did just now. So I cut that all out just to make the video shorter, make it sound a little bit cleaner. And then I go through and listen and delete the fuck ups. So, for instance, my raw audio is 1 hour and 20 minutes. Once I'm done chopping it up, it'll probably be Oh, maybe, let's see, maybe 50 to 55 minutes. And then I'll go through and delete the fuck ups. And then that'll cut off, hopefully, just a couple more minutes. I don't think I had that many, but I probably had a lot because it ended up being so much. So that's kind of my process. And I need to decide if I want to insert clips on this one since I already put quite a bit of work into it. And then that's its own fucking pain in the ass. So, and plus I just kind of want to recover. Having the in-laws in town is always tiring, you know. If you're married or have a girlfriend you met their family or your family, you know, you're around their family a lot. It's not stressful, but it's its own thing that's exhausting. But all right, I'll leave it here for this one. I'm just kind of rambling now. So yeah, see you guys later. Hopefully, I can get my thing video up tomorrow. Maybe if I'm feeling super productive, the Penguin video also. It's tough though because I can't really watch Penguin when it comes out because I get up at like 5:30 for work. So if I want to watch Penguin, I'd have to be up from 9 to 10, and that's kind of getting into, you know, where I'm going to start going to sleep like a fucking old man. Anyway, all right, see you guys. I'm glad you could make it. Thanks for chatting. It was good talking to everybody. And I'll try to have more specific stuff next week to talk about. I just was gone for so long this time. I felt like, fuck it, I'll just pick stuff. But, all right, see ya.